Alright guys, today we are going to be doing a updated version of the thumbnail tutorial. So I know this has been very long awaited, so I'm going to try to make this as fast and direct as possible so you guys can fully understand everything. But yeah, we're going to be doing another Warzone thumbnail tutorial, and I'm going to basically be teaching you guys how to make a great thumbnail for completely free for either your YouTube videos, or maybe if you just want to design them for fun. Whatever it is, you're going to want to load up Modern Warfare 3, and you want to go into private match and create a private match. So whenever you're in here, go to your weapons, and you're going to select whichever weapon you want to use for a thumbnail. So I personally am going to use the MTZ762, and you're going to want to find a camo that you want to use. So I personally, for this thumbnail, am going to use, if I can ever find it. Okay, we're getting there. All right, I'm going to use the Germinate camo. It's this nice blue and white camo. It looks very good. So I'm going to use this. You can put on any attachments. I usually put on attachments that just naturally make the gun a bit more bulky in a way, or that have more color. So yeah, we're gonna put those on. I could put on a whole entire chainsaw, but I'm definitely not gonna do that. Put on, there we go. We'll put that on. All right, that works. Our gun has a little bit more of that blue on there. So there's that. So for your game setup, basically just go into your rules, turn off, or not off, but turn down the match time. Then you can boost up the time and score limit. It doesn't really matter all too much. But after this, go into the gameplay section and make sure you guys put your mode on hardcore. This will basically just take your HUD away. As far as map goes, you can test around with different maps to see which have the best lighting. But personally, I'm going to use Underpass. So yeah, once you guys have those settings set up, start up your match and you can go into a custom game now. All right, so on Underpass, I like to go over here where all the light is. And this is typically where I get most of my thumbnails. So to weapon inspect, you just hold down left on the D-pad and you'll do a weapon inspect. If you want to get one of you reloading, just shoot once and reload. But since I'm on PlayStation, I literally just spam the screenshot button a whole bunch of times. And then I start inspecting the weapon and stuff as much as possible. So to screenshot on computer, you can just click Windows Shift S, or if you have something like the NVIDIA program or something like that, get a screenshot with that. Since I'm on PS5, of course, the settings naturally are just jacked up and a lot higher. So something I recommend doing is turning your render resolution up, or just your regular like quality settings up a little bit. Of course, don't put it up too much to where your computer explodes, but just get it to where your game looks nice and smooth. Let me look in here and we can see if we have a comfortable screenshot. Okay, yeah, so we'll probably use these. Actually, a lot of these are good. We might use not that one. We'll use this one right here. So this is the one I'm going to use. So the way I personally get my screenshots is we're gonna back out here. So since I use the PlayStation to get my screenshots, I have the PS app downloaded on my phone. So what I do is I go onto my phone and I go into the PlayStation app. And in the PlayStation app, once it loads up, if you have to and you just now downloaded the PlayStation app while you're watching this video, sign in with your account, then go to the section with the controller in 6 little boxes. So click on that and then go to your captures. And in the captures, you can download your screenshots and game clips from the PlayStation app at 4K quality. So I found the screenshot I'm going to use on the PlayStation app. So click the download button in the bottom right corner. And whenever that downloads, I go to Google Drive and I upload the photo to Google Drive. And then we move on to Photopea and put it in there. And we'll start the thumbnail tutorial from that way. All right, so whenever you guys have your screenshots, you're gonna want to go to Photopea and click New Project. So this is my settings. So name can be whatever. Your width should be 1920. Height should be 1080. DPI is 300. And background is transparent. And once you have this, click Create. Now go to your file manager or wherever you store your screenshots. Grab both the screenshots you need and drag them, drop them to this top bar. And if it works properly, you should have 3 different little tabs up here that you can go through. I'll show you what this one is later, guys, but we're going to move on to cutting out our weapon. So some basic controls you should know. before cutting out your weapon is if you hold Alt and scroll up, you'll zoom in. You hold Alt and you scroll down, you'll zoom out. To go to the left, hold Control and then scroll up. And that will bring you left. Hold Control and scroll down and you'll go to the right. So we're going to zoom in. And make sure you go over here to the left and click on this little pen tool right here. Now before you start cutting, make sure your little mode up here is on exclude. So now you're going to start cutting around your weapon, and if you see little pieces like this, I'll show you what you can do later with those to get those out of there. So first things first is you're going to start cutting out your weapon. What you're going to want to do though is, first before anything, make sure you go up here to the top and also click on full screen. This will help you maneuver the controls a little bit, and it won't trigger anything in your browser. So yeah. So first things first, we're going to click on the outside, and now we're going to begin cutting it out. So if you have curves like this, just click somewhere and click and hold, and you can drag out and make a curved line. So you'll have this little like dangly line. So if you hold Alt, you can just reposition it back on your outline. So just do that over and over again if you have any curves or anything like that on your weapon, and hold Alt to reposition that one line to keep the cutout in motion, if that makes sense. So yeah, once you have those controls down, start cutting out your weapon. So also if you have anything like this, I'll show you how to get that out the way, but majorly just focus on getting your gun cut out first. Alright, so whenever you get to the end like this, you can just go out of the border, but make sure to connect them with whenever it like shows that little dot right there. Then after this, like I said, it will handle these areas now. So make sure you have your thing on exclude. Remember to do that always before you cut out your gun, because you can then do this. So whenever you have those connected, click shift and then click right here. And now it creates a separate path, so you can work on cutting this part out now as well. And these little areas that are actually inside the gun and that possibly get in the way. So make sure you always connect them with that dot. And now we're going to work on this little portion up here. So yes, connect it with that final dot. And you should have something like this. Whenever you have this, click Control and Enter. And as you can see, it should put this dotted line all around your gun. Once you have this, you know you're in a good spot. So now click Select, Modify, Contract, and just have it be 1 pixel. Click OK. Now click Control J. And if you look over here, it made me a entirely new layer with that weapon cut out. So now we're going to have to handle this little area down there. So all you need to do is just go to the spot healing brush and then just zoom in again. And you have this little brush. So just draw over that. And now it will stop it for a second. But as you can see, once you draw over it, boop, it's gone. So my crosshair might still be on here somewhere. Let's look for that. I don't think it is actually, which is great. So now you should have your weapon cut out. So go to that new layer you just made and then come over here and drag it into your area where you want your thumbnail to be. So since my thumbnail is in 4K, the quality and size of it is going to be absolutely humongous. So make sure you go to your move tool. So yeah, now if it's a little too big, you can resize it. So boom, there's mine. Looks pretty dang nice. So now we are going to search for a background. So you can go out of full screen, go to a new tab and go to callofdutymaps.com. So I go up here to more and then to battle royale. And then I go to Fortune's Keep, since this that's what the thumbnail is going to be for. And here, if you scroll down, you have a bunch of map screenshots and stuff you can pick from to add to your thumbnail. So I'm going to click this one, right click, copy. Then we're going to go back into Photopea and we're going to click Control V and then allow it if it says it needs the authorization or whatever. So yeah, now if you click this, you can drag it below your weapon and you have a background. So we're going to zoom ours in a bit more by just clicking that little node down there, zooming it in some, just like that. So whenever you guys have this now, you want to click on your weapon layer, go to filter, go to sharpen, and then do a smart sharpen. Make sure the mount is 150. You can put the radius to 1.5. Click OK, then go to filter, sharpen again, but then go to unsharpen mask. Ooh, whoa, that's a little too much. Usually in Photoshop, it's not that bad. We're going to have to turn down our radius here. So we're going to put on 1. And then just, actually, I don't even think we really need that. So yeah, no, just exclude that and just add a smart sharpen. Because in my opinion, that actually over sharpens it, which you don't really want. That'll make the quality really bad. But whenever you just do the smart sharpen, go to layer, layer style, blending options, and then we are going to add a drop shadow. That one's a little much. So we're going to close in the distance, put up the size just a tad bit. Now we go to satin. It'll be dark like that, and it's okay. Go over here. We're going to make it a white one. Close the distance down and increase the size. So as you can see, if you turn the blend mode to overlay, it'll brighten it up a whole lot, which is a little too much. That's okay. We'll put our opacity to like 10%. And if you look and see now, it brightens our gun up just a tad bit. Makes it a little bit more lifelike. So I'm also going to add an inner glow though. We're going to just make it a overlay as well. And instead of it being this weird yellow color, we're going to make it another white. And we're going to boost the opacity up. Increase the size just a tad bit. To like 17. That looks pretty nice. Now we're finally going to add a bevel and emboss. Make the depth 125. And boom, that looks pretty good. You got some nice highlights here and there and stuff. Makes your gun stand out a whole lot more. So boom, we have this now. We have our background. So what we're going to do with our background is we're going to click it. We're going to go to image, auto tone, then just auto color. Then go to filter, blur. I'm going to use a lens blur for this because in my opinion, it looks a little better. So we're not going to have the radius be too high though, because the lens blur is typically very strong. You're going to put it at 5. I'm just going to put the brightness up by 12. So boom. There we go. We have this now. But now we're going to start adding color correction. So this little area down here, click on that, and we're going to click color lookup. I don't think that, oh wait, they do have a bunch of ones in here. Okay. So go through here and find one that boosts the colors a fair bit, but doesn't make it like really weird like that one. Okay, honestly, that one works some, but we are going to change the opacity on that because that is way too harsh. We're going to put the opacity to like 10%. We can actually maybe turn that up a little bit more. Let's do 25. Yeah, there we go. That's really starting to make the colors stand out even more. So yeah, we're going to use that color lookup. You want to go in here. Go to hue and saturation. So we're going to boost our saturation up a fair bit to roughly 20 or so. So as far as the hue goes, don't change that too much because as you can see, you'll get some very interesting colors to say the least. But we're going to put ours on like 2. Or yeah, roughly 2. It'll make the blues just stand out a teensy bit more, but it doesn't alter the colors to where it's all over the place. As far as the lightness goes, I would say to actually bring this down a little bit. I'm going to bring mine to -2. Right click again, and you're going to go to vibrance. Don't change the saturation, but just up the vibrance to like 10 or so. After that, exposure. So exposure is something you don't really need to alter too much, but this basically just brightens everything. We're going to put ours at 0.42. Put gamma correction right there. And then we're just going to leave the offset at 0. After this, right click again, and we're going to go to curves. Curves can really make or break something. So we're going to add a lot of different points. And as you can see, that's mainly where the darks are, or the lights. So we're going to darken them a little bit. We have a bunch of values down here as well. I'm going to darken those. Basically, just make a bunch of different points. and test around to see which colors they change. And don't make them like too bright or too dark. Try to find a great balance. That honestly really works for us. So that's very convenient. As far as levels go, we don't need to change levels all too much. I think we're good where we're at. We'll just add 5 right there. Maybe 5 right there. Whoa, that is not good at all. We do not need a 5. Okay, we'll go to 0.95. There we go. That is some great color correction so far. I don't really think we need a brightness and contrast though, but whenever you guys have found your comfortable colors and everything, hold down shift and then click and it can select them all. So yeah, shift and then click on the bottom, then right click, and then you should be able to make it into a group. Oh, right here, sorry. Click down there and you can make it into a folder or a group, whatever you want to call it, and we'll just name it CC for color correction. So yeah, this is how it looks without the color correction. That's how it looks with it. Big difference. And it looks great. So now we are going to get into coloring and adding glows to our gun. So click down here to make a new layer. Go right here. Then click linear dodge add. Go to your brush. Turn your flow to 65. And then if you hold Alt, you can change the size of your brush by going left to right. But we're going to go and hold Alt and scroll up, or like move our mouse up to reduce the hardness. So it doesn't look like it's basically just a big block of color. You want to have it have that nice glow. So now hold Alt and then click on the color you want and it should select it. And then boom, we can start adding little bits of glow here and there. Now, I will recommend don't add too much glow to where it gets overwhelming, but add a fair amount. We're also going to add one big white glow, I think, in the middle. But for that, we're going to click and make a new layer so we can adjust that individually. So same thing, just add a, what's it called? Linear dodge add, and we're going to reduce the opacity for that so it isn't too overwhelming like I said. For the most part, those are good though. We might tone down the opacity just a little bit. Right there is about good. I might want to make these colors though a little bit like more saturated and stuff, so I'm pretty sure if you just click Control U, yes, you can change the hue and the saturation on them. So I'm going to bring up the saturation a tad bit, maybe change the hue to get a little bit of a darker color. Something like that works. That for me is perfect. I might go in here and add a little bit more colors though. Actually, no, I think that's pretty good. We can add some colors over here in the hand though. So I'm going to add a little bit right there. Maybe a little bit on the coat. So yeah, that honestly looks good for glows. I don't usually like making it too overwhelming, but I do like to add a fair bit. We'll add a little bit right there too. So yeah, that's good as far as glows go. All right, so once you have your glows and everything and you're comfortable with those, we are going to add a background glow. So click on your background, make a new layer, go to your brush, and you're going to want to select a blue. Well, you don't have to select a blue. You can do a white or really any color you want as a background glow, but I'm going to do a blue so it matches my weapon. So we're going to do a blue like this. And we're going to make one layer right here, just a normal layer. We're going to reduce our size. We're going to go in here and start adding that blue around a little bit. Then we are going to Control J, copy that layer, and then do a linear dodge add. So now that does make it a little bit extreme, but what we can do is we can just lower that opacity to like 12-ish, and then for this, blow it down a bit further to like 50 something. Maybe put that up a little bit more. All right, so now you can go to both layers, click Control U again. Yeah, we want that darker blue. We're gonna saturate it. Just a tad bit. Click OK. And we will do the same for this one. Just a tad bit. Then up the saturation. And also one thing you can do is if you hold down shift and you're on your move tool up here, click this for the move tool, hold shift, and you can stretch it out a little bit on the sides to have it cover a little bit more area and expand out more. So I'm going to also add a little bit of glow down there, add a little bit more on the edges. So there we go. Got a little bit of a background glow going now, and we have our weapon glow. So now we're going to move on to what I was mentioning before, which is our ranked symbol. So we're going to take this ranked symbol and put it in there, but we're going to go to our pen tool and cut it out again. I will get to you guys whenever I'm done with this. All right, so now I have the cutout for this. I'm going to drop it in here now. Over there on the side, that's okay. We're going to move it right here. So we're going to go to this layer, right click, go to layer style, and we're going to copy our layer style that we had on our gun. So we're going to go over here to this layer style and paste it on there. So as you can see, that brightens that up a ton. So we're going to make this a tad bit larger, just like that. Now we're going to go to edit, transform, and then we're going to change the perspective of it. And we're going to tilt it a little bit so it kind of looks like it's on its side, if that makes sense. So go to the corner. Yeah, and we can now start to stretch it out a little bit like this. This is a little tricky to work with sometimes. So just click Control Z if you really just need to go back and just have a little reset if it doesn't work as proper or properly, sorry. Yeah, something like that for me is good. I'm going to enlarge the size further. Really try to get it in there. And I'm going to sharpen this, I think, as well. So we're going to go sharpen. We're just going to click a regular sharpen. So yeah, that'll work. I'm going to put that. Yeah, we're going to keep it right there in between our different layers of glow. So the one kind of down here in the background also hits it a little bit here, like on the bottom part. As far as this goes, though, we're going to make a new layer above it. We're going to do another linear dodge add. We're just going to add a one nice and big glow kind of just in the middle of it. Yeah, like that. Where it's something not too much to where it's just overwhelming with the glow literally all over the place, but to something where we can just make it a nice blue that stands out. So I might go into this though and real quick just change the hue of it. Yeah, something like that right there. Add some saturation. And I'm not going to make like a blue background glow for it, but I will go in the layer below it, make another new layer, go to overlay, and I'm going to just add a white overlay behind it to just make the background stand out. So boom. That basically completes our thumbnail for the most part. So now really what you can do when you're done is go to the very top layer, hold shift, click the bottom layer, and then group them all together, and we'll name it thumbnail. Now you can go Control C, Control V, and make another layer or a complete duplicate of your thumbnail and click Control E. And then as you can see, it'll merge it all together into one single layer. And the final thing we will do is go to filter, then add a camera raw filter. So you'll be able to see all this stuff in the background and whatnot, but I'm gonna be dead honest, guys, it doesn't matter too much because in the thumbnail, nobody will be able to tell. So here you can change a bunch of extra values. For temperature, we're gonna put it to 7. That'll make it a bit warmer. And for tint, we're going to make it a 3. As far as contrast goes, you can really fiddle around with this. I'm gonna put mine on something like 18, I guess. For the most part though, we don't really need to change these colors as we already did before. And before they looked very, very good. I will admit this is a very good thumbnail color-wise. So yeah, I mean, I think we're good for the most part. You don't necessarily really need to add this. In Photoshop, the camera raw is a lot better, but this is basically all you need to make a good thumbnail. I just mainly did these to change the temperature and tint. So yeah, that is basically it for your thumbnail, guys. So we went from nothing with a little handy down weapon cutout to this great thumbnail with a lot of glow, color, things like that. As you can see, this is what the temperature did, by the way. This is how it looked before. This is how it looked now. Honestly, I think the one before is a bit better. But this one does enhance the background colors much more, and same with that glow. So we're going to keep that on. But once you guys have your thumbnail and you're finished, go to File, Export As, and you're going to want to export it as a JPEG. And make sure your quality is on 100%. A JPEG will lower the, the file size though, so you can actually use it for your YouTube thumbnail. So save that, and if it's somehow over 2 MB still, go to your computer and go to Paint. Open up Paint and go to File, Open, click your thumbnail, go to File, Save As again, and then JPEG once again, and this will basically just double it down, I'm pretty sure, and reduce the file size even further. So yeah, if you look here, that thumbnail is now only 627 kilobytes, or whatever the heck you want to call it. Very low file size, but still good quality. So yeah, I'm going to save this though as a PSD for myself though, and for you guys. So if you guys ever need to look back at this and you want to look at anything in here, this will be in a PSD. So we're going to name it Thumbnail Tutorial PSD. And this will be in the description in a Google Drive folder for all you guys to have access to and download if you ever need reference for anything or anything like that. That is basically it though, guys. That is all I have for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Yeah, that's really all I have. If you guys want more thumbnail tutorials, just tell me in the comments, or if you have any questions, I will happily answer them. I reply to literally every single comment on my YouTube channel. So yeah, that's all I have though. See you guys in the next video.